that is unbelievably fascinating to me because most people, like you said, they would think like, oh, it comes down like Biden picks up a phone, issues an order, and then all of a sudden these guys just disappear. But I do want to walk this back just a little
Yeah.
bit to kind of because that was all incredible, but I want to go back to kind of how, as an officer, when you go to selection, is it the same pipeline? Like you're in selection,
Yeah.
OTC, just like if you're a regular, I don't want to say
Yeah.
regular because it diminishes, but like an operator, is it the exact same thing?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that makes the unit what it is every NCO there knows I went through the exact same thing. I went through the exact same selection course. In fact, there's a little bit of added bonus that officers go through that NCOs don't have to. And then even in the operator training course, that year of training, you're doing the exact same thing. You're in the house clearing. If you're not staying with the stack, if you're not safe, if you're not clearing, you're booted. So as an officer, if you're not good in the house, you're getting booted, even though it really isn't my job, but that's the expectation. It isn't until the last week or two of the operator training course where you're actually expected to be an officer and they're giving you responsibility. Otherwise, you're kind of the guy back in the stack. And it's I would say it's a little bit easier as an officer, so to speak, because they're not as heavily evaluating you. Like I was never the breacher, right? I never put the charge on the door, because that's an officer is never, I shouldn't say never, but I wasn't evaluated at that, right? Because that was a guy when he crossed the hall, that was going to be his job. His job was that. So you were kind of a support element all through that time. And again, like I was talking about earlier with the Zarqawi event, because I was downrange in between operator training courses, my first experiences with Delta was as a number 5. So in the teams, you've got the team leaders of 1, the assistant team leaders of 2, 3, 4, 5. You're supposed to have 5 guys on a team. And because I was a battle captain in the talk, running the talk, when I wasn't working that, troops invited me out to just be an assaulter. So I held ladders. I was in the stack. So in as I finished the operator training course, or even before I finished the operator training course, I worked as a Delta Force assaulter for a trip and really got to see the inside baseball of how it all worked. And again, I think that's a testament to the training, right? Like no Delta Force Sergeant Major is going to be like, "Hey, Major, why don't you come and get into a gunfight with us?" If they didn't know, I was up to speed because I had been through the exact same things that they had been through.